Per usual, all information on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended to provide financial advice. So, as a continuation of the Better Known Indicator series, I want to talk about candles and candlesticks today. So some basics on that. You can see here, again, if you've never heard of candles before, here's a primer. You can see the wick, body, body, wick, closing price if it's an up candle, opening price is down here, and then it's reverse if it's a red candle. Alright, so I can't show everything about candles in one 15-minute video. I plan on doing a hangout with a bunch of other traders talking about candles and candlesticks. This is just sort of an intro thing. So let's first look at a chart. I don't ever use candlesticks by themselves as an indicator. You certainly can. There are a lot of people who do that. I don't have any charts pulled up from previous examples where I've mentioned candles because it's hard to find those. They aren't necessarily always indexed on Twitter. I usually just mark candles on the chart, not in the tweet itself. So that's why you won't be seeing any specific examples. But just looking at our current triangle, so if we're in an uptrend, I'm always looking for reversal signs, weakness signs. Okay. If we're in a downtrend, I'm always looking for reversal strength. Okay. Signs of strength, signs of reversal. So here's our uptrend. We get up here, and I'll talk about all the candles that I'm mentioning further in the video. But so these two candles here represent a tweezer top. Now the tweezer top, tweezer bottom is probably the most highly debated candlestick pattern amongst my fellow traders. PizPie is the expert on the tweezers. I usually defer to him on any of those matters, but I consider this a tweezer top. Basically, anytime the second candle fails to breach the previous candle's wick, okay, this is usually in the end of an uptrend or the end of a downtrend. Now you can see this wick. I think this wick did breach. It's hard to tell unless you like zoom all the way in. So yeah, this wick breached this wick. Technically that invalidates the tweezer. The next thing that invalidates the tweezer is this wick, which clearly breaks this tweezer. You could think of that as like a stop run type deal if somebody was short based on this tweezer. Forex likes to do this where it goes past stops and then goes in the direction it initially signaled. But anyway, so tweezer top, you can interpret this as a spinning top, basically when the bodies on both sides are long and equal. The wicks on both sides of the body are long and equal. A true spinning top or a long-legged doji this is a better example. It's generally a reversal sign. So you can see if you get one of these in an uptrend, it means that we've had a lot of sellers, we've had a lot of buyers, we've settled in the middle basically for this day. But the odds of continuing on a spinning top in the previous direction, I'd say are slim. So that's a sign of weakness. So you can look at that as probability, you can look at that as closing your long, opening a short, however you want to word it, okay? Now I said in the triangle market update video that now you don't know this at the time, but we're being ruled currently by this triangle. So any candlestick pattern, any indicator, out the window, okay, for me anyway. It's all about this triangle. And you could say the same thing really in here. You know, you could say we're all about the triangle, we broke out. So you could just, ignore any indicator. From there on, it's kind of tough just because it's just sideways. But the point is, candlesticks are everywhere on any time frame. If I just go to a random time frame, I'm going to find candlesticks. This is obviously hindsight, but when you're, seeing this side of the chart, like here's a weak example of a tweezer top. This is on the hourly, not a great time frame for confirmation. As far as like trend, And again, on the highest time frame, we're in this giant triangle. Let me just jump real quick to when we weren't in a triangle, see if we can spot some stuff. So here's a tweezer top I would consider. PissPie, I don't think we'd consider this a tweezer top because this whole zone wasn't tested. If we go back a little further, now there are a lot of complicated candlesticks that I don't necessarily recognize all the time. Again, use what you like, don't use what you don't like. So tweezer, tweezer, this wouldn't technically be a tweezer. So tweezer bottom, tweezer top, probably not technically a tweezer top. Here's the tweezer top, probably not technically a tweezer top, but I'm calling it a tweezer top with the long-legged doji spinning top. So if you think of like a spinning top, dreidel, whatever you want to call it, that's where the name comes from. You can see the wicks are super long, and we sort of settled in the middle, okay? So that's just some of the patterns. The most common ones we look for, the traders I talk with, are always the tweezer tops, tweezer bottoms. Here's a tweezer bottom. It's a good example. Again, any time frame, any market, higher time frame always wins. I don't have, let's pull up the 4 hours just to see what else we can find. So this is an example. This isn't really a candlestick pattern, but it's an example of the beginning of a downtrend, okay? The odds of this completely retracing up on the next candle are slim. You don't need me to tell you that, but that's an example. This is also some type of hammer, or it's a hanging man, and I'll explain this on the cheat sheet when I go over that. This candle right here, hanging man. And this coupled with this candle, something, I don't know. I mean, these candle people get really crazy with their names and identifying things. The other thing about candles and candlestick patterns is you kind of have to like wait till the next candle for confirmation sometimes. So I don't know. So let me talk about some of these. So this is a great example of the cheat sheet that's broken down clearly, at least from my understanding. So first we're looking at single bars, okay? I talked about spinning tops. They say they're neutral. I think in an up or down trend, I see those definitely as a reversal sign or exhaustion of the trend. So either the trend it will remain sideways from there or it will reverse. The odds of continuation based on a spinning top, I don't see normally. Dojis are neutral. I'll get to the tri-star, which is the 3 candle pattern, but the doji is usually a reversal sign. They're just saying like a big up candle is a continuation, like a reversal or continuation. A big down candle is bearish. I mean, that's obvious, right? So if we move on to the, these are still single candle patterns. So this is the hammer. I like to call it the dragonfly. Dragonfly, you can think of it as like, sometimes it has a tiny upper wick and a long tail, but it just is a sign of a reversal. Hammer is the same thing. Hammer just doesn't have a wick at the top. Hanging man, so I'm already misidentifying these names on that last one. We'll get to it, but so hanging man is basically like a reverse dragonfly. It's another reversal sign. Inverted hammer, reversal sign, bullish. And you can kind of reason this out as, this is bullish because we had all this selling and we came back up to here. So this is a rejection zone. Here we had all this buying and we still had some selling. So that's tough, harder to logic the way I just did, but these hanging man, inverted hammer, shooting star is just like I guess these are more inverted of each other. This is more of an inverted dragonfly where we had all this buying but still ended up red on the candle close, okay? So we move on to the double bars. Some of these names are crazy. Bullish and bearish engulfing are kind of easy because it's just saying that the next candle is larger, the body is larger than the previous candle. So you can see this body is bigger than this body is bigger than this body. Okay, so that signals trend reversal. Tweezer tops I talked about a lot. Trend reversal. Wicks touch the previous zone. These triple patterns, triple candlestick patterns get crazy with their names. Traders normally don't ever call these, at least the ones I've talked to. You know, like, did you see that evening star on the daily yesterday or something crazy, you know, silly like that. Anyway, we do talk about 3 white soldiers a lot though. So again, it's pretty obvious what you're looking for. Okay, these are reversal signs. These are all reversal signs. Bullish. I mean, there's also like not a technical tweezer, but there's a tweezer in here. So the 3 inside up or 3 inside down is just the third candle breaks the body of the previous 2 candles. And then the 3 white soldiers, 3 black crows are just long-bodied candles with no wick going into the previous zone. So it's either buying, 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 which says there's going to be a big buy soon, or selling, 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 and there's going to be a big sell soon. And the 3 white soldiers, if we go to the daily, we can see those. Let me just find one real quick. So this isn't exactly, I guess we start from here, you know, buying, buying, buying. Seen on the weekly. It's hard to justify or rationalize these sometimes. It's an okay example. Buying, buying, buying. Then we get lots of buying. Okay, this is 2013. Selling, selling, selling. Lots of selling. Buying, buying, buying. Lots of buying. So those are the 3 white soldiers, 3 black crows, whatever you want to call them. Doesn't matter. So there are many cheat sheets you can look at. You can make your own. It's really good to memorize, like the symbol. Memorize is what a dragonfly is and what a shooting star is. You can see all sorts of stuff. Now, these are like probability patterns. These aren't obviously guaranteed. Again, this is a spinning top. Tweezer, they mention. Some of these names are all over the place. More chart patterns cheat sheets you can look at. We did have this one on the daily. Let me look. So there are other great cheat sheets. I'll link all those in the description. And it's easier to just use this and see this as you go through. All these kind of have different names. You'll find some cheat sheets with like percentages. I don't know if it's kind of sketchy to use that, but the patterns are effective to use. One of my favorite sites is this Steve Nissen's candlecharts.com. There are names. You just hover over the name and you can see it. You can read the reasoning behind it. You can sort by bullish, bearish, neutral, blah, blah, blah. So there's a ton of stuff here to look at. His names are kind of different too from some of the other websites. Like he's calling this this is a head and shoulders to me. But anyway, so that's just an introduction to candles and candlesticks. If you've never seen that before, I plan on doing a hangout, like I said, with a few other traders. We'll do a little more long form format. We'll do a Q&A thing. I never use candles by themselves. I always use them with other stuff. It's just sort of like building your story, as you know, your bias for a certain trade. Are you bull? Are you bear? Do you feel confident in entering the trade based on, you know, candlesticks, pivots, horizontal support, cloud, Fibonacci, B-bands, all those things together. All right. So if you have any questions, comments, leave it in the bottom. Tag me on Twitter if you find a cool candle pattern. And happy trading.